So I'll give you some counter FUD. I think the guys most terrified of being fractionally reserved are guys with bit licenses, and Gemini has a bit license. But I also personally know people that can't get their money off Gemini. So on the one hand, sure, they're probably under the most strict regulatory regime in the entire universe. But on the other hand, who cares? I know people that can't get their money off. So now what? You know what I'm saying?
How long?
But
How
yeah,
long have they been trying to get their money off?
I don't know, a few months.
Well, forget about that.
Well, if
There's
you can
people
bring one up,
today.
I'd like to speak with them because I've had withdrawals from Gemini within the
Oh,
last few
cool.
months. Never had
Okay.
an issue with them.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, that anecdote's really strong.
Well, Maddie,
That
if you didn't see,
sample size
posted
of
at the
one.
top for you from the official account, they're experiencing Amazon Web Services issues.
Well, let
So
me put it this way.
Yeah, that's a site outage. That's not a liquidity
but
issue. You guys are
no,
out
hold
here
on.
like
Nobody
the
can pull out
platform's
their
about
money
to go
though.
down.
See,
I have
now-
absolutely no evidence that Gemini has
Hold on.
any liquidity issues at all.
Hold on.
None.
What does it say? Gemini experiencing outages.
The website is, yeah, it's Amazon
Okay, so
services,
that's the
web
title.
hosting.
Maddie, that's the title.
Yeah, I don't know what you're. I don't
Yeah.
remember hearing anyone on here say that Gemini had liquidity problems. I didn't hear anyone here say that. I didn't say it. I don't know anyone. I didn't hear anyone say it. I think only you said it. Maybe you should stop fudding.
Oh, maybe I should then. I'm sorry if I misheard you. That's my
Yeah,
fault.
it's all good.
I don't think anybody in this room ever said
But
Gemini.
let me ask you a question.
We hope Gemini don't.
Why on
I
earth would
hope
you
Gemini
take the
doesn't go.
chance? Why on earth would you take the chance? They promoted a failed product to their users. They promoted something to their users that just got their users wrecked. Their users can't withdraw from their partner in the earn program. So they fucked their users. So why would you take a chance? Why would you risk your stack to find out? Remove your money. It's that easy.
Well, I know plenty of people who got burned on Hex as well, my friend. So maybe you should tread
Yeah,
lightly
but there's
there.
shit you can't. Price volatility is not something you can program out of a speculative instrument. I know people that got wrecked on Facebook. I got people that got wrecked on Amazon. Speculative instruments have price volatility. You can't program that away. 100% perfect flawless operation with 100% uptime is what Hex has. And guess what? It's not what Gemini has. We're at 100% uptime. Gemini isn't. Our shit works perfectly for 3 years, and no one else's does.
Well,
It's
Gemini
indisputable.
has segregated client accounts, and that's enforced by the tightest regulation in the world.
Yes, NYD. Yes, I know, but you're repeating me to me. The bit license is very strict. I know, which is why so few companies have them.
Right. So, one thing that
Do you
I've been
have
wondering
stock
about
in
Hex
Gemini or some shit, or did you suck the Wicklevi off in your weekends, or like, what's the deal? Why do you like these guys so much? They're just another shit exchange with no liquidity.
Please watch your language.
No, fuck you. I'll use whatever language I want. Suck my balls, kid. I'm an adult. I'll speak however I like.
You're speaking like a
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to control my language?
All right. So let me explain something about Hex for all that are listening, because people are already DMing me going, who is this Richard Hart fuck? It's very simple. Hex is a Ponzi scheme. It's a very clear and blatant Ponzi scheme. They have basically advertised outrageous percentage gains promised to their users without any sort of disclaimer.
That's completely false. That's completely false, guys. Don't listen to
I've
this guy.
seen them, dude.
Don't listen to this
lie.
guy. Don't listen to this guy.
Don't fucking
dude,
lie,
are you
dude.
serious?
I've seen them
Are you serious?
on black cabs in London, dude, with my own eyes.
Every single user that uses its own seed phrase interacts with a contract that no one owns, no admin keys, and we generate our own yield off of.
I'm talking about the advertisement.
No one actually
gains promised to users. This is a red flag.
Please be quiet.
You cannot promise 5,000% gains to a user. They're not
promising 5,000 gains.
I've seen it. Don't fucking lie to me. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Stop.
Advertisements that say buy Hex and get 5,000% gains on black cabs in London.
Hey, one at a time. One at a time. One at a time. This is not the Royal Rumble, man.
No, but
I'm
like, hey, can I tell you what the black cab said?
No, let me speak for 10 seconds, and then you can say whatever the fuck you want, because you're dirty fucking mouth already.
You're lying.
Really?
You can calculate your own APY dependent on how many people or supply is dependent on how much their supply currently. So
Ponzi-nomics, dude. Ponzi-nomics. You use money from the new people to pay off the old people. That's how Ponzi's work, asshole.
Money from everyone else. Then you have to call Bitcoin a Ponzi. You have to call your housing market a Ponzi.
No. Bitcoin is an asset.
All right. you know, I invited Richard here to go ahead and speak about the markets. Richard, go ahead and take the mic, and then Maddie, if you want to have a rebuttal, go for it. There's not, again, I'm not, Roman Reigns and John Cena is not here. I'm gonna let everybody talk, but we're not doing this Royal Rumble shit.
Yes, quite simply, if I remember, and it is on the homepage of Hex.com, there were advertisements on taxi cabs in London that said Hex is up, I think it was 1,100% or 11,000%. And you want to know what happened after those ads? The price went up another 100x. So this guy flapping his lips here about how unrealistic the ads were and how wrong the ads were is wildly wrong based on math. Hex went up 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%, not including its staking rewards. And do you know where all that money came from? Do you know where all that profit came from? The same place Bitcoin miners' profit came from, inflation. Bitcoin miners inflate the supply to blow up the environment. Hex stakers inflate the supply to support the price. It's just Bitcoin with a proof of work change. It has a very low inflation rate. It has a maximum 3.69% inflation rate, whereas Bitcoin had a 3.89% inflation rate on its way to $20,000. And it was exponentially higher in the past. As a matter of fact, many people don't know this, the best time to buy Bitcoin was when Satoshi owned 100% of the supply, when it was called a scam by everyone, when there was no liquidity, where there was no place to buy it, and when the inflation rate was the highest. It had a 10,000% annualized inflation rate very early on, because that's what happens when you go from no coins to 50 coins, to 100 coins, to 150 to 200. There used to be 50 Bitcoin block rewards back then, back when I used to mine it when it was 50 cents and it was free. As a matter of fact, it was so free, you didn't even have to include a transaction fee. People would just include your transactions for free. No one cared. Didn't even have a price back then. So I invented something that we need in cryptocurrency, which is time deposits. Bitcoin tried to be a currency, failed. Hex tries to be a time deposit, but it's not like a real time deposit. A real time deposit doesn't pay you more when other people end stake. A time deposit doesn't pay you more when other people lie about their stake and end it before they should have. But in this system, it does. And by the way, when people complain about 40% APY gains, guess what? That's the APY in Hex. The actual APY was millions of percent because it was 1,000,000% USD gain times your APY. So when I hear people complain about the 40% APY, I think it's really funny because depending on how long you staked and when you get in and when you get out, it could have been 1.5 million%. So all it is Bitcoin with a proof of work change. It's been operating flawlessly for 3 years. It has less negative externalities. It was given away for free to Bitcoin holders. And while everything else has failed all around us, it's operated perfectly, flawlessly, wonderfully. And guess what? These type of gains, these, insane gains, they're very similar to what Bitcoin did. They're very similar to what Ethereum did. They're very similar to what BNB did. They're very similar to what Dogecoin did. They're very similar to what Litecoin did. These types of gains and performance we've seen over and over and over again. And guess what? They don't need to be Ponzi's. For a Ponzi to exist, you have to have a middleman that controls who gets paid. He makes a promise that he's going to pay you based on a profitable business, and he lies. He doesn't have a profitable business. And so what he does is he takes money from new guys and gives it to old guys. In Hex, it's the opposite. In Hex, when you mint your inflation, you're just minting stuff that's not money. And it's only money if you use the fruits of your own labor to generate something, to offer for sale on the market, to dilute all the other things that previously existed. It's just like mining Bitcoin. So I don't understand the claim to Ponzi. I don't understand the claim to bubble. We're still up 60,000%. Yes, we're down 95%, but still up 60,000%. Because when you go up 10,000x, going down 20x, which is a 95% drop, doesn't cancel the 10,000x. And so I invented the thing that we need in finance to monetize time, the thing that puts people in control of their own keys, the thing that removes counterparty risk, the thing where you mint your own rewards, you hold your own keys. There are no middlemen. No one can surrender rewards. And then people yell at me, and I think it's hilarious.
I mean, I only yelled at you because you used some very foul language. I'm sorry.
It's not foul, it's fun. You just need to upgrade your adultness.
No, telling somebody to suck off somebody else is not. It's not funny. It's just you're trying to get under my skin on purpose.
I've watched a lot of comedy shows, and I'm telling you, it is funny.
My turn for rebuttal. I was very quiet while you spoke. Please. As a licensed portfolio manager, somebody who's holding a SISIC advanced examination, which allows me to trade clients' funds. Basically, you need to use a disclaimer. When you have a advertisement that says how much gains were gained in the past, it says past performance.
It's literally
not
written on the
gains.
advertisement. That is
It was
literally
not
written in the
on
advertisement. It
I've
is
seen
literally.
several. You keep interrupting me. That's not okay. I sat there for 3 minutes and listened to your BS.
No,
My
but
turn to
it's
speak.
on hex.com. I can see the disclaimer. I've seen the
David,
ad.
please.
It says past performance is no indicator of future performance, and you could lose all your money or something to that
You are a
effect.
liar. You are a liar because your website never said this. I went through your website up and down, did not see a single disclaimer. I went through the advertisements in The Economist and on the taxi
No.
cab. There was no
The
disclaimer.
Economist ads were there too,
Listen,
bro.
but you know what? I'm not.
I think you're lying,
I'm not
bro.
here to disclaimer. Okay. I'm going to compare yourself to Bitcoin. I could take a Bitcoin and send it to anyone, anywhere in the world. They can accept it and easily transfer it into money. Not the same with Hex. You know what?
Oh yeah, really? You're lying again. You turn it into
Of course
Ethereum
it's
on
the same.
Uniswap with no middlemen.
Yo, what are you talking about? It's actually more trustless because Bitcoin, the only way you could do it is someone else has to buy it on the other side because Bitcoin actually doesn't even have the same liquidity. If you want to sell your money right now, you could go without no one else telling you what to do and you get it. There's liquidity pools for that on Uniswap, all these things. What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah,
First of
and
all,
no disclaimer thing just drives me wild because I give the most disclaimers. I'm the
No,
guy
but
that
Rich-
tells you all crypto drops 85%. I'm the
didn't put
guy
the
that
app-
tells you that it could go to zero. You literally
No,
click the disclaimer on the site. It says you're
Look,
lucky the
I
stuff
had better
works at
things
he's-
to
all.
do than argue with scammers all day. Everybody in this room understand that this is a Ponzi scheme.
dude, we don't have. Dude,
All right,
we
have a
have
good day.
no,
Bye-bye.
we have no liability to actually like. What are you talking about? This guy said that someone went and said his opinion, said Hex is up this. It's actual facts. You could go check on the chart. He's not lying. He's saying it. Hex.com didn't put that. We did that. We did the NASCAR. We did everything. Richard himself went and got the diamond, which got, by the way, good job, Richard. $4.2 million for International Press Forever. Good job. People
Thanks.
actually downplay that like crazy. Like crazy. And then this guy comes, oh, can't put that. You have to put a disclaimer. How do you? Why should an individual, off their opinion, put a disclaimer when they have no ties to the what?
Yeah, but
company?
there's disclaimers all over the place anyway. The site is riddled with disclaimers.
Like please, like I'm sorry to interrupt, but like this, it doesn't make sense. It really, I'm fed up with this.
No,
like,
I think he was a little bit mad because he came up here and he started accusing people of saying that we said that what you call it, Gemini's going down. No, it's just like they're experiencing outages. It's the truth. They sent out the letters
100%.
themselves.
100%.
Nobody
Right.
said that.
I bet you that guy just got wrecked on FTX, bro. He's super
Bro,
tilted.
It's Max Payne. They haven't gone through it yet. It's Max Payne.
It seems to me he came
Hey,
up
Richard.
here making a bad faith argument, a straw man argument essentially about Gemini, and went right into other straw man arguments against Hex. Anyway, Richard, what is, if you had to pick one thing that people misunderstand about Hex the most, that you would like to address, what would that be?
Oh, dude, we get these all the time. People hear the 7-year lock and they're like, "What's going to happen in 7 years, bro?" And you're like, "Well, during that time after now, people keep staking, and actually, from our analysis, they keep staking longer and longer." I used to brag about when it was 4 years. Now I'm bragging about it being 7 and 8 years. The average stake length seems to keep going up. The share price keeps going up. It's amazing. Like it's. But they don't get it. They understand it backwards. He just said it's harder to like divest from. There's nothing easier to divest from without changing chains, without using bridges, without using middlemen. You can de-risk from Hex into USDC or DAI or TUSD or USDT or whatever you want with no counterparty risk, no middlemen on the most liquid market for the product with the absolute minimum counterparty risk possible. And the least spoofing and the least fees. Like it's just amazing. And then he literally says the opposite to my face in all seriousness. He's like, "You can't sell it, bro." You're like, "Really? That's funny. How do you think the price got down 95%? People selling it." Like, how do you think people bought all these Lambos? People selling it. Like the things this person says don't make any sense in the real world. You can go to the website and read all the disclaimers now. It's covered in disclaimers. You can go click the taxi ad and read the disclaimer.
There's actually a newspaper that was pulled up just now, and there is a disclaimer that says values go up and down often. Past performance doesn't guarantee future performance. Your capital is at risk. Unregulated product with no investor protections.
Thank you. Yes, that sounds like the disclaimer from the Economist ad. So I just, when a person comes up so mad and says everything the opposite of what is true, it drives me wild. Drives me wild. It's crazy to me. I don't get it. Because it's so easy to disprove. You say it doesn't have a disclaimer. I got the picture on the site. Go click the disclaimer link at the bottom of the page. It says you're lucky this stuff works at all. It can go to zero. Solar flare can knock it all down. Block software is hard. Blockchain software is harder. Like you can't get more disclaimers. I'm the guy that tells you crypto drops 85% all the time. Anybody else tell you that? No, it's me. So like, it's tragic. You know, maybe he'll just lose all his money and sell the bottom. I'll be all right with that. But unfortunately, because he's a registered financial loser, he's going to lose other people's monies too. He probably already has. Guess what? I'm not a registered financial anything, and I haven't lost anybody's money. So go me. Hey, you want to know how much hurt I got in these exchange things? I have no money in FTX. I have no money in BlockFi. I have no money in Celsius. Go me. It's hilarious to me, dude.
Anybody has a normal question for Richard?
Yeah, Richard. As an OG in this space, one of the theories was over time the Bitcoin would reduce, right? So we had a 95% drawdown first cycle, 85 the second. We're at 79 right now. And the last cycle we had major pumps, right? 7 to 14K, 100% pumps. This one we had a pretty weak one from 35 to 50, which represents 50% pump. So just wondering, what are your thoughts on volatility decreasing over time?
Yeah, it's limp dick dead weak gains forever now. Everybody already knows about it. You're the last guy in. You ain't new. You're not an early adopter. It's 13 years old. Bitcoin's never going to have mad gains again. Never. Never, 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 never. And by the way, you know who you're making rich? The bankers, the venture capitalists, the governments. You're not making the people rich. You know who doesn't have much hex? Venture capitalists, governments, Bitfinex hackers, Silk Road hackers, Plus token China seizure. Nope, they ain't got no hex. And they probably don't have any pulse chain. So it's like we're winning the game in every way the game can be won. Bitcoin dropped 75, more now. You told me 79, cool. Ethereum dropped 85, maybe it's more now, but it's probably still 85. And then Hex dropped 95, but it's been paying interest the whole time. Awesome, it's great. Couldn't be happier. Well, I could be happier when my price targets get hit.
Trillion X, what's going on? My question.
Hey, brother. Yeah, I just want to say, like, straw men are bad, but middlemen are worse. And that's exactly the example you're seeing here, because their products are shot. Let's ask him how much money he made for his investors, because guess what? They don't get paid on performance. They get paid on their assets under management. So, of course, when you got somebody like Richard coming up saying you don't need any of these middlemen, you could do this yourself, cut them out of the loop, and keep the money for yourself, decide what you want to do. Of course, they're going to have a problem with that. I don't see how nobody else sees it. Guys, this is the middlemen revolt. We don't need those guys. They haven't done shit for us, and their products are lame. And now it's a different time. You can do this stuff all on your own. You don't need that anymore. So yeah, they're gonna say every nasty imaginable thing they can about their competition. That's all it is.
Yeah, like we are the shining city on the hill. All of our trading is on chain. All of our liquidity is on chain. The history of everybody's trades on chain. Uptime, 100%. Multiple front ends, multiple like teams that built them. Totally decentralized. Totally.
You want
So, like,
you want disclosure? Sorry, Richard.
Go ahead.
This whole thing is coming down to disclosure. Guys, nothing on the blockchain has the type of disclosure standards that heck, you can literally go and look at every transaction, who's doing it, wallet to wallet, trace it through. You know what they asked CZ Binance about this the other day? They said if decentralized exchanges have this great innovation where you can audit, you can go through, it's all traceable. Why don't you do that in Binance? And he made this argument against privacy. It's a privacy concern for him, right? So he wants to know everything that you're doing. We're going to find out that I'm sure they were front running their own customers. I'm sure they were selling order flow, the exact same MO that Robinhood had. We're going to find all this stuff out because guess whose privacy they're not concerned about? Yours.
Yeah, I agree. It's just so weird to me. Like we do everything better, and then everyone says the literal opposite to me, and it makes me sad. It's like, oh, Richard, you've got volatility in your thing. Yeah, mostly volatile to the upside. So like, yeah, people prefer that. Anyway, I got to go, man. I'll see you later,
Thank you,
guys.
Richard. I appreciate
Thanks,
it, man.
Richard.
Thanks for coming on.